In the vast expanse of existence, we are often presented with a paradox, a world of opposites, of contrasts, of seemingly conflicting forces. Yet, if we look deeper, we begin to realize that these opposites are not separate. They are not in opposition. They are intertwined, dancing together in a divine rhythm that brings harmony to the universe. This is the eternal dance, the balance that exists between light and shadow, joy and sorrow, birth and death. The duality of life is not something to be feared or resisted. Rather, it is something to be embraced, for it is within this dance that we find the true essence of our being. Imagine, for a moment, the sun rising over the horizon. The light begins to spread across the earth, chasing away the darkness of the night. Yet, if we pay attention, we see that the light does not obliterate the darkness. Instead, it coexists with it, creating a beautiful gradient, a seamless transition from night to day. This balance between light and shadow is not just a visual phenomenon. It is a profound symbol of the dual nature of all things. Light cannot exist without shadow, just as joy cannot exist without sorrow. One gives birth to the other, creating a dynamic interplay that is essential for the richness of experience. We too are a part of this eternal dance. In every moment of our lives, we are faced with the ebb and flow of opposing forces. We experience moments of deep joy, where our hearts are light and full, but we also face moments of sorrow, where the weight of the world seems too heavy to bear. These emotions are not separate. They are both born from the same source. Joy and sorrow are two sides of the same coin, both essential to the human experience. Without sorrow, we would not fully appreciate the depth of joy. Without loss, we would not understand the preciousness of what we have. In the dance of life, each step, whether light or heavy, brings us closer to the truth of who we are. In the same way, the day cannot exist without the night. The seasons change, the tides rise and fall, and all of life moves in cycles. This cyclical nature is another manifestation of the eternal dance. There are times when we are in the light, when everything feels aligned, when the path before us is clear. But there are also times when we find ourselves in the dark, when uncertainty clouds our vision, and when the way ahead seems obscured. Yet, these moments of darkness are not to be feared. They are simply part of the cycle, a temporary phase that is necessary for our growth. Just as the earth must rest in winter before it can bloom in spring, so too must we rest and reflect during the darker periods of our lives, knowing that new beginnings are always on the horizon. As we journey through life, we come to understand that opposites are not fixed or permanent. They are fluid, constantly shifting, evolving, and transforming. A moment of sorrow can give birth to a moment of joy, just as a moment of peace can give way to a moment of challenge. The dance of life is not a straight line but a spiral, ever expanding and evolving, with each turn bringing us closer to the center, to the core of who we are. The beauty of this dance is that it allows us to experience the full range of human emotion, from the deepest despair to the highest ecstasy, and in doing so, it helps us awaken to the truth of our existence. It is easy to become caught in the illusion that life should always be happy, that we should always be moving forward, always be progressing. But this is not the truth of life. Life is a series of waves, each one rising and falling, each one bringing us closer to our true selves. The key is not to resist the waves, not to try to control the flow of life, but to flow with it, to surrender to the rhythm of the dance. When we surrender to the flow of life, we are able to move with grace, to find peace even in the midst of chaos. We no longer see the opposites as enemies, but as partners in a beautiful dance that guides us toward wholeness. In the same way, the concept of light and dark is not one of good and evil. This is an oversimplification that causes us to miss the deeper truth. Light and dark are simply two aspects of the same whole, two expressions of the same energy. There is no true darkness, just as there is no true light. Both are relative, both are necessary, and both are part of the same universal truth. When we stop labeling the dark moments of our lives as bad or wrong, we begin to see them for what they truly are: opportunities for growth, moments of introspection, times when we can turn inward and reconnect with our essence. It is in these dark moments that we find the seeds of transformation, the possibility of awakening to a deeper understanding of ourselves and the world around us. And so, we must learn to dance with the duality of life, to embrace the ebb and flow of opposites without judgment, without resistance. The dance is not about trying to control the rhythm, but about allowing ourselves to be swept up in it, to move in harmony with the forces that shape our lives. In this dance, there is no winner and no loser, no right and no wrong. There is only the music, only the movement, only the moment. When we surrender to the dance, we find ourselves in a state of grace, in a place where the opposites no longer feel like burdens, but like gifts, each one offering us a lesson, a blessing, a chance to grow. In the quiet spaces between the steps, we begin to hear the wisdom of the dance. We begin to realize that every moment, every experience is a part of the unfolding of our lives, a part of the greater symphony of existence. There is no need to hurry, no need to force the dance. It moves at its own pace, and all we must do is listen, trust, and follow the rhythm. As we do, we begin to experience a deep sense of peace, a profound sense of belonging, knowing that we are part of something much larger than ourselves, something eternal, something divine. In the end, the eternal dance is not about finding a destination. It is not about reaching a place where there is no pain or suffering, where there is only happiness and light. The dance is about finding harmony in the midst of duality, about embracing the fullness of life, with all its contrasts, its highs and lows, its joys and sorrows. It is about recognizing that everything, absolutely everything, is part of the dance. There is no part of life that is separate from the whole. Every experience, every emotion, every thought Every moment is a part of the eternal rhythm that moves us closer to understanding our true nature. So let us move with the dance. Let us embrace the opposites, the light and the dark, the joy and the sorrow, knowing that they are all part of the same cosmic rhythm, the same divine flow. Let us surrender to the music, to the movement, to the moment, and allow ourselves to be carried by the dance of life. For in this dance we find the truth of who we are, and in this truth we find peace, we find harmony, and we find the eternal essence of our being. As we continue our journey through life, let us remember that the dance never ends. It is always unfolding, always evolving, always calling us to move with it. And in every step, every turn, every moment, we are drawn closer to the heart of existence, to the essence of life itself. In the eternal dance, there is no beginning and no end, only the infinite flow of energy, the endless movement of life. And in this dance, we are one with everything, and everything is one with us. So let us dance with joy, with gratitude, and with love, knowing that in the dance of life, we are always at home, always in the presence of the divine.